Hey y'all, I am going to go walk out to my woodland garden area in the raised bed area. See what kind of chaos is ensuing out here. There's a lot going on. I've been pulling weeds pretty much all day. Had to go in and take a break because it is so stinking hot and humid out. But I've got a pile of cosmos. This is all cosmos and a few weeds that I pulled out from this area. This is where I had let it just kind of seed itself. It had covered this whole walkway all the way through here, so I just yanked them all out of the ground. So you can actually walk through there now. And this bed, of course, I tried putting some zinnias in here, and I've only had a few sprout up. I don't remember the name of it. It's a green one though. It's really pretty. Have some green ones, and I think purple prints I planted, but I don't know if it looks like very many of them didn't show. And I'm going to go through here some of my plants and transplant them. Just take them out of areas that they're in because they're not doing well, and put some new things in the ground. This cranberry hibiscus has broken several times. I have lost at least 2/3 of this plant. You can see right here, this branch right here. This was the biggest break right here. It broke off. This whole area is gone. And it is, because of that, it left a weak spot. So I've had to stake it up, and it's trying to break. That's trying to break going that way because it's so big and top heavy. I've cut so much top off of it, and I just didn't expect it to get so big. You can see I was leaning over here. But it has not even put a single blossom on. So, don't know what's up with that. Over there in that bed, I didn't have a lot of luck getting anything to grow in this front part either. But I did recently put some tomato plants in there. Got a couple in there. Just to see if I could get some more tomatoes before we have a frost, which our frosts are really late in season. But I've got a lot of cleaning up to do out here. I'm going to get the leaf blower. I'm going to blow all of these little walkways off. We've got some branches down because we had some heavy wind yesterday afternoon. And this rose right here, this is a coral double knockout rose. I'm not sure if it's a double knockout or just a coral knockout. Either way, I'm probably going to move this fall. It's been in this area for about 3 years, and it does flower, but it's just gotten to where there's so much shade now. These tree branches are just getting bigger, and they're producing more shade, so it's really not getting much sun. Going to take that out and put that somewhere else, somewhere in the sun. I have no idea where yet. This has got to get cut back. This star jasmine, Confederate jasmine, has become a huge mess. It's just really getting in the way. I've cut a couple of little vining spots off of it just to get out of the way, but it wraps up around this crepe myrtle. I've had to cut back a few of these crepe myrtle branches because it just intertwines in it and it pulls the tree over. So that's got to be pruned back. See, it's hanging in the way. Watching out for spider webs. They're all over out here. So that's getting moved. Let's see. Hi, Barney. I got some of these little coreopsis. I think those are, I'm not sure if those are yellow and red, but I lost the little verbenas I had in here. They finally just died. They've been in the ground for 2 full years, and they finally just dried up this year. So I'm going to stick those right there. And this is some tree branches off of this. I kind of cut off the lower branches around here because it was getting really low and it was getting hard to walk through. So I haven't cleaned them up yet. They've been sitting there for a week. I've just had so much stuff that I've been doing. And this area that comes around where I put my hammock, this is the first I put it up all year. It's usually up all summer, but I finally put it up about a week or two ago. But this area right here, my husband can't mow obviously when I got my hammock out, so it's kind of a pain. I have to come out and take it down every time he needs to mow. So I'm thinking I'm going to either put a paver area in here or a rock area, kind of like what I've got down here. And no plants, just an area that don't have to worry about him having to mow. I may start that this fall. And out here I pruned, this is all my gaura right here. I cut all those gauras back. Well, I had 4 of them that I've cut back, and they will start sprouting back up. Very hardy. And I've got some little rudbeckias here. I don't remember which one, Toto or something like that. Yeah, Toto Gold rudbeckia. I think I'm gonna put these here, but I'm also going to move this cranberry tree. I can't remember which one it is. Not pink profusion. I'll have to pull the tag and look at the name. But I think I'm going to move that out of there because it's going to get big and I'm going to end up with too much shade. This is a sun garden, and if I let that go ahead and get to maturity, obviously it's going to shade this whole area, and I really don't want that. So before it gets too much bigger, I'm going to go ahead and probably pull that out this fall. Find somewhere to put that. And I think I'm losing this forest pansy. I put this in the ground probably 4 years ago, and it has struggled ever since. It's got this, I think it's called white fungus or something, but the bark, all this bark is gone because it peels back, and it's actually, you can see me zoom out some. It should not be moving in the ground like this. So I think it's just dying, slowly dying. So I may pull it out and put that cranberry over in this area, that cranberry tree. Not sure. Probably going to be moving these red hot poker Nephophias. There's only two or 3 right here, but I had those there before I started this rose garden area, so I'm probably going to pull those out, find somewhere to stick those as well. And I have these crocosmias. They do okay, but I only had 2 of them bloom this year. I don't know why. I don't know if they don't like the soil they're in, or if they're just not getting quite enough sun, because they really don't get full sun right here. So those will probably get moved somewhere if I can remember where the corms are when they go dormant. I've got to clean all this up. Got so much leaf debris all over this walkway. I need to prune this lantana back. It is grown back over the walkway again. I just cut it back probably a month ago. It's already grown back over the walkway. Trying to remember what else. Oh, I'm gonna move this rose this fall too, when it cools down, probably in late fall or winter. This rose right here. It did put some flowers on earlier in the summer, late spring, but for the most part, it just basically grows, and I have to keep cutting these canes down because it will literally grow up to there with no flowers on it. I think it's just not getting enough sun. Obviously, you can see it's basically in dappled shade. That's about all it gets, so I think I'm going to move that, so maybe it'll start flowering. And I've got several things I need to move. So I'm not going to do it in this weather. It's just way too hot. I don't want to lose anything. My roses are still struggling, but they've all put on new growth since I pretty much cut them all down to nothing after they all had a black spot. This one's getting a little bit more black spot on it, you can see. So I try to pick off the leaves as I go, just so it doesn't get engulfed. They don't become engulfed with it again. So, yeah. I have since planted more caladiums out here. Several caladiums. So this little shade garden is filling out pretty good. Having trouble with my hostas that I planted from bare root. They just don't want to grow out here. And I know it's because the soil is not that great. But it looks like the caladiums are doing okay in it. Got a couple more I picked up yesterday from Lowe's. These were on clearance for $7 a piece. Raspberry moon, I think. Yeah, raspberry moon. So I'm going to put those right there next to this one. Fill this little area out. And we did cut this tree back. These branches right here literally swept the ground ever since we've lived here. And I kind of liked the effect of it because this is similar to a live oak. It's a laurel oak. And I liked the branches, how they swept the ground. But since I've got this now planted up as a shade garden, I wanted that lower branch cut so you can actually walk under here and see it, visually see it from the road when you're driving past. I think I've pretty much got everything out of this bed that needs to come out of this bed, because the things up here in the front, they get a little bit more sun, so they do okay with the shade that they're in. All right, we're up here at the front garden bed, and I have been pruning back these Asian garden celosia. They were swamping over top of my Atlas blue cedar, so I've cut those back. They'll be coming out of the ground before long anyway. And this is some type of celosia that I didn't intentionally plant. I think it was probably mixed in the seed packet with these because I didn't order this, but once I noticed it was a celosia, I decided to just leave it in the ground. And it's really massive. That's just one plant. That'll be coming out of the ground soon as well. There's another pile of the Asian garden celosia. Let's go back here. My Pugster amethyst butterfly bush, both of them I had to put cages around because my younger cat, he kept chasing butterflies and he would jump on the branches and they literally broke off. He broke off probably a third of this one. I kept trying to stop him, but I couldn't prevent him from doing it, and I ended up putting cages around it, which has helped considerably. Right here I have mulch that washes out. When we have heavy rains, it just downpours right here and just comes through here and washes out. So I'm going to be moving, this is a bobo hydrangea right there. It looks like the ground, the soil has kind of eroded away from the root system. It's dying on this half. So, but that's not why I'm moving it. I'm moving it because my Tamukiyama that I planted after these were in the ground is starting to grow over top of it. So it's just going to be, obviously, that one is about 3 feet tall. It's going to be too big to be that close to that Japanese maple. And yesterday I was filling up my fountain and I had to unplug it because the thing was not flowing correctly. So I took several trips to fill it up by hand because my garden hose doesn't reach back there. And in the process, I got zapped. I think there's a yellow jacket nest down in here. My husband's gonna take care of that hopefully tonight. But I got zapped by a yellow jacket yesterday and it was pretty fierce. So I think that's all I'm going to move from this area is that bobo hydrangea. I probably will have to move my Aussie Queen hibiscus out of the ground and put it in a container. It's what I did last year just because it's tropical and it will die. Even though we're in zone 9A, I'm pretty sure it will die back to the ground. I don't want to take a chance of it not coming back. So I'll probably dig that up again and put it in a container and store it in the garage. And it hasn't put on any blooms yet. I'm surprised. Let's walk around to the back because there's a few things I want to move back there as well. Oh, while we're walking to the back, I want to show you this new area that I had done recently. These plants are doing actually pretty good. These are the purple fountain grasses, 2 of them that I actually moved from way up on the end of our road. They were at the top of a culvert where a drain system is, and they weren't doing good up there, but they're doing pretty good here. That one's probably doubled in size, and that one looks like it's actually quadrupled in size. It's getting more sun, I'm sure that's why. But these are my Vicii gardenias. The 2 in the back are the ones that I had planted in the back patio bed that pretty much lost all of their leaves, and it looks like they're still struggling on a few branches. Those may actually need to be cut back, I'm not sure. But for the most part, they're doing pretty good. And this bed was just created, basically this area was extended out just so it made it easier for my husband to mow. That's the area where I store a lot of things that aren't doing well to give them a chance at life. So I'm probably gonna take this rose, Melody Parfum rose, and move it. I may move it out here, farther out, or I may just completely take it out of that bed and put it somewhere else. See my Limelight Primes, they're doing okay. They're supposed to actually turn pink in our heat. I guess that's what they were bred for, hotter climates, but it doesn't look like they're doing that. Last year, this one, yeah, it was this one that I bought last year in the late summer, and it actually did turn pink. And then I put this one in the ground early spring, and they're not looking that great. I mean, they were pretty when they blossomed out, but they're not putting on that pink color that they're supposed to. Kind of stinks. So I'm gonna move that rose, and look at this massive cranberry hibiscus. This is one also that I planted by propagation, and it is so massive. Look at this trunk. It is so massive that it is leaning completely over. It's on top of my Snow White Delight hibiscus over there, and it's all up into that patio bed too. I'm gonna have to do something with that. No blossoms, don't know what's going on. It gets full sun, should start blooming, unless they're just late bloomers. I don't remember how late it bloomed last year. Ew, I have, is that poison ivy or pepper vine? That looks like that might be pepper vine. I have pepper vine, it pops up everywhere. It's not supposed to be poisonous, but touching it, some people can make them itchy, and I'm one of those type of people that get really itchy from certain plants like zinnias and sunflowers. Tomato plants, they make my arms itch so bad, and I break out in a rash. So let's see, everything's doing okay over here. I propagated these from cuttings, only because when I bought these on clearance, the other plants that I cut these off of, when I bought them on clearance, they were very sparse. So I thought I would just cut off the tops and let them fill out, the originals. And this is what I ended up with some cuttings. I just stuck them in the dirt back here, and they rooted, and they're looking really good. I moved that water fountain out of there because it was leaking really bad. It was dripping all over and causing water to sit, and so I think it was causing a lot of my oak leaf hydrangea branches to start dying back. You can see it's missing a few areas. So I had to cut several branches off of that, and since I've moved it looks like it's doing better. No more water sitting. But I'm going to probably move these. Are pink mully grasses right here in the back corner on the back side of this Japanese cedar. Of course, when I planted them, they were a lot smaller, you know, so they didn't look so crowded back there. But I've had to prune the foliage, the needles, the pines, I'm not sure what they're called, the stems. I've had to cut those back twice already because they keep growing completely over top of my cedar. So those will come out also. I'm not even touching that in this weather because I don't do spiders, and I'll probably get stung by a wasp because I'm really good at getting stung by wasps for no reason. So those will come out, and I'll find somewhere to put those. I actually think they're very pretty when they put their plumes on. Get very full. It's already starting to put its little plumes on. Really pretty pink color, especially when it's windy and it's blowing. Yes, very pretty. And these are Spitfire coleus down here. You can barely see that one under there. This is growing over it, so I'm going to have to move. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna have to move this one. I'll probably just move all three of these coleus in the fall. put them somewhere else. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. Coleus are not as hardy down here as our caladiums are. Caladiums will die back, but they come back from their little, I don't know if it's little corms or bulbs, but these are just root systems, so they may not come back. I may just take some cuttings and save some for next year. We are finished leaf blowing. I'm probably going to put these in the ground when the sun goes down, but it is thundering, so we may get rain. I may not be able to do it till tomorrow. But this looks so much cleaner. There's my lazy garden hose in the walkway. So it just looks a lot better. This was full of leaves. This whole bed gets covered in leaves. And I just come out here and leaf blow it a couple times a year. Well, not in the summer, I don't usually have to. But the trees are dropping really bad right now. I'm not sure why. We've been getting decent rain. But it looks a lot better, a lot cleaner. Much better than it did before I started. So this is mid-August. That's what it looks like in the dog days of summer out here. Not too bad in the shade. Lots of stuff in the sun gets really dried out from the heat. My raised beds are the ones that struggle the most, so I try to keep them hand watered when we don't get enough rain. But everything seems to be doing pretty good this year since we didn't have a drought. So I guess that'll be it for this video. Bye guys.